Hello and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series number 86, Ezra Bridger. So once again, it is so nice to finally be getting more Rebels in the Star Wars Black Series line. It's been a while since they started doing them, so it's taken a few years, but hopefully we're on our way to getting the entire Ghost crew. The packaging here, as you can see, is more of the same. You have an image of Ezra on the lower right. You can see the figure prominently, as well as all the accessories he comes with. At the back, there's the image once again, as well as a description of the character. Growing up, Ezra learned to trust no one and to rely on his street smarts and subconscious force abilities to survive. This all changes with his introduction to the crew of the Ghost, a small band of rebels fighting back against the Empire. Ezra comes to believe in their cause and sees that he can help change the galaxy for the better. All the usual disclaimers here at the bottom, and there is the SKU right there, UPC, if you want to use that. Alright, I'm going to take a minute, get Ezra unboxed, and we come back, we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is Ezra out of the packaging, and you guys, I'm really liking what I am seeing here. I think one of the things that Hasbro's done exceptionally well is translated the Star Wars Rebels characters into the 6-inch Black Series form, while making them a little more realistic than they appear in the show, but also being very faithful to their aesthetics, not just in terms of costume, but also in terms of likeness. And I think Ezra is definitely a testament to that. Proportionately speaking, he looks very nice. He looks like he does in the show. The colors of his outfit look to be spot on to what we see in Rebels. I think they're muted a little bit. They're kind of dialed back just a bit to make him a little more realistic, which I'm totally good with. And of course, he does come with his essential accessories from early on in Star Wars Rebels. So taking a close-up look at Ezra's head here, you can see that he is very nicely sculpted. Once again, he does look very reminiscent to the Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels, all the way down to the bluish looking hair. His hair is like a grayish black, right? But in the show, it also has like a blue tinge to it. And the same is true for the figure. You definitely see that. I just think that they did a really nice job bringing Ezra into the 6-inch form and translating his show aesthetic very accurately. It definitely looks like Ezra from the TV show. Just a little bit more of a realistic interpretation of him. Everything looks really good about the head. The paint is very clean. The eyes look very nice. They're painted really, really well. He's got photoreal. First Rebels figure to have photoreal. So that is really nice to see. And you really see that like on the lips and the eyes and just how clean the paint apps are. Skin tone is very nice. He's a little bit darker, I think, in skin tone than some of our other characters, but not by a lot. Just a little bit more tanned, I suppose. And then, the hair is very nicely done. I really like the sculpting of the hair. And again, it does have that really slight blue tinge to it. So I'm really good with that. The rest of the outfit is sculpted very nicely. When you look at it like this, I kind of feel like maybe the head's just a little bit big, ever so slightly. Part of it could be the hair, but I feel like his head's just a little bit big, just a little bit. But the rest of the costume is awesome. You can see there's some nice texturing here on his jacket, and that looks really good. And then the yellow for the collar and the pockets and the outlines. He's got that pattern on his back, and this looks really good. It's actually sculpted on here. It's not just painted. Like if you feel it, it's embossed. So that is pretty neat. And then you can see that he's got his dark orange jumpsuit, and it's painted very nicely as well. It's kind of like a darker orange color. His gloves are very nice green color. They're a little more vivid than I remember them in the show, but maybe it's accurate. And then right here you can see that the belt and the holster are separately, it's a separate piece. And it actually attaches back here. You can see it actually came and snapped right there. But he does have a belt underneath, as you can see as well. So there's a belt under there. But it's painted really nicely. It's got like this greenish yellow sort of shiny quality to the buckle right there. And then all these other little parts were also painted. So really nice touches there. Yeah, it's a really good looking figure. For the legs, you can see the armor is a little bit different on each side, but it also looks quite nice. Interestingly, his lower leg on the left is darker than the lower leg on the right. So I need to go back to the show and see if that is in fact accurate. That's interesting. It isn't something I had caught before if it is on the series. But it kind of makes sense because you look at his clothes and they are a little bit tattered. Like you can see he's kind of wearing maybe some older clothes to kind of make up his outfit. Now his shoes that he's wearing, not sure if these are boots or shoes. I think they're just shoes. They're a dark brown color. Very simplistic, but they're very effective. In terms of articulation, so we do have a ball pin at the very top of the head, so it does give you some pretty good movement. The neck is also on a separately sculpted joint. You don't get a whole lot of movement from it, very slight movement from it. It's mostly going to come from the head. You can see you can look down, you can look up a little bit, not so much, mostly down, side to side, of course, and you can tilt slightly. Insert molded joints at both of the shoulders. Now check out how well integrated they are into the shoulders. That is really nice. You can't really see them. They do come out all the way, just like that. A little bit stiff, but they work pretty well. For both of the elbows, you also have the same sort of articulation system. Look at that, way more than 90 degrees, even though he doesn't have double bends. Awesome movement. At both of the wrists, you can rotate them. This one goes forward and back, and the other one actually goes up and down. For the torso, you have a ball joint at the center of the torso. Get some pretty good movement there. Nothing at the waist, no hinge there at the waist, but he does have insert molded joints at both of the hips. And look at that, despite the fact that he has the holster there, he can still go almost a full split. So that is pretty nice. You do have swivels at both of the thighs, and here at the knees you do have your double bends. So pretty good movement there. And then he's got rocker ankles, and you get some pretty good movement out of them. They point quite a bit. They don't really go up a whole lot, but you can rotate them. So overall, it seems to be a pretty nicely articulated figure. In terms of accessories, Ezra comes with the helmet that he had in that very first season. So it is pretty cool that he does come with an Imperial helmet, because if you watch the show, you know he had a collection of helmets. He would collect the different Imperial Trooper helmets. And it actually looks really good. It's really nice, bright white plastic. The black parts are painted very clean. And then the reds are also painted kind of clean. I hadn't noticed before that it looks a little bit similar to the First Order officers, just the way it's kind of got those long lines on it. And to get it on his head, basically just pull in your figure, and it's a tight fit. It is a tight fit. You can see that, like I mentioned, he's got a pretty big head. So trying to get this on there, you guys, I don't think it fits. It feels like maybe if you jammed it on there, it might fit. Like maybe if I heated it up and softened it and then put it on, it might fit. But just trying to like get it on there, I feel like I'm going to scuff his hair or something. So I'm not going to do that. I'll just have it like on his arm or something as an accessory. And of course, Ezra has one of the most unique lightsabers that you'll see in the Star Wars universe. So you can see that the blade right here just pulls apart just like that. It's got a little bulb at the bottom, and just plugs in. And his hilt is actually really cool because it's a blaster and a lightsaber in one. So you can see the sculpting on it is pretty nice. Got like a metallic paint coloration to it, as well as some teal coloring and some black coloring there. And you orient it like this to use it as a blaster. That's where the bolts come out of, or use it as a lightsaber. So really cool accessory. And then of course it's got a little loop right there. That way you can hang it on his belt. So to get it on his belt, you kind of need to flex out the little peg that he has right here. It's very rubbery. And then you just kind of finagle it on there. Because it's so rubbery, it is a little bit tricky to get it on there, but yeah, see? I mean, it almost looks like it's got like a little stress mark on it right there from flexing it, which is too bad. It's brand new. But yeah, there we go. Once you get it on, you might consider leaving it on if you don't want to have the lightsaber ignited, because you don't want to mess up that little hook right there. But yeah, it looks really cool once it's on his waist. All right, and here is our ghost crew so far. So all we're missing at this point is Zeb, and then we would have the entire core Ghost crew. So here's hoping that before long Hasbro will give him to us and we'll finally be done with the Ghost crew. But even then I wouldn't mind more figures from Star Wars Rebels because we still need characters like Callus and others. But yeah, as long as we have Zeb, I think most Black Series collectors and fans of Rebels that are collecting this line will be pretty happy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Ezra Bridger. I'm quite impressed with the figure. I think that the execution for the most part is really well accomplished. The sculpt on the figure is awesome. I wouldn't expect anything more than what we got here in terms of sculpting, in terms of detailing. The head sculpt I think looks great. Very similar to what he looks like on the show, which I think is pretty great, all the way down to the bluish looking hair. So he looks great. The photoreal paint applications are very clean, very nicely done on the figure. The articulation system is very good. I like the accessories he comes with. They're the accessories that make the most sense for a Season 1 Ezra figure. It's too bad the helmet doesn't seem to fit on his head, but it is nice that you get it at least, just to have him holding onto it or just to have in the background on your shelf. The lightsaber is a very nice touch as well. I think that they did a good job with it. It's just too bad that the hook on his belt doesn't seem to cooperate the best with the lightsaber getting the hilt on there, but when you get it on there, it looks really nice. And the lightsaber itself and putting the blade on the lightsaber / blaster hilt, that looks really good as well. So all in all, there's not a whole lot to complain about here other than those minor gripes. I think the execution for the most part is really good. I think this is an awesome figure. And if you're collecting the 6-inch Black Series line, with the Rebels figures in particular, you gotta have Ezra in the collection. So now all we need is basically Zeb to round out like the main crew of the Rebels. So hopefully we hear news about Zeb before too long. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think about Ezra? How did he turn out? As always, I want to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye bye.